Donald Trump, we don't have that clip of Donald Trump not being aware that there were protesters in Britain. But here is Laura Ingraham. And there is a real concerted effort by Trump and by apparently those on Fox to in some way deny the fact that Donald Trump has been met with thousands upon thousands of protesters. There was footage of Trump completely denying it, saying like, I didn't hear about it. Here it is. Yes. Every news outlet has basically said this is just not true. There were thousands of protesters and nobody was cheering for Donald Trump. And Trump realizes there are two different narratives. There are two different media narratives. I mean, we were saying this quite a bit a year or two ago, I feel like, and we've sort of forgot. But that moment where that woman at the Amash town hall, where she's like, I had no idea there was anything negative about Trump in the Mueller report. No idea. She is involved enough to go to see her congressperson speak. What percentage of the American public does that? Right? So she's that much of an informed voter. Here's the weird dynamic. She is not a low information voter. She is a narrow information voter. And they have figured this out, that their core audience does not listen to any other media outside themselves. And therefore, they can create a narrative that it doesn't matter that other people are reporting something that is diametrically opposite that. Here is Donald Trump saying, I didn't see any protesters. What?
As far as the protests, I have to tell you, because I commented on it yesterday, we left the Prime Minister, the Queen, the royal family. There were thousands of people on the streets cheering. And even coming over today, there were thousands of people cheering. And then I heard that there were protests. I said, where are the protests? I don't see any protests. I did see a small protest today when I came, very small. So a lot of it is fake news, I hate to say. But you saw the people waving the American flag, waving your flag. It was tremendous spirit and love. There was great love. It was an alliance. And I didn't see the protesters until just a little while ago, and it was a very, very small group of people put in for political reasons. So,
put in for political reasons, yeah, exactly.
Are there protests for non-political reasons?
There was about 100,000, or conservatively 75,000 people, and one guy put a penis shape in his lawn.
Right.
The lawn mower, just so Trump could
played
see
that
it.
yesterday. Yes.
No, I know. I'm just reiterating. I don't know that was love.
Well, I mean,
but it was crystal clear.
Yes, crystal clear.
One of his favorite phrases. I think it was
clear.
A crystal
clear. No, it is. But this is, I think, effective. That is the clip that they're going to be playing on Fox News. And they're going to say, like, the president was absolutely right. And it's going to be effective. I mean, this is one of the difficulties when.
This looks like love.
Yeah, this is, there's a picture of, I mean, people, there was.
Richard, you are fake news.
Yeah. This is one of the difficulties that I think is underestimated in the calculations of candidates that are trying to convince Trump voters to switch back. That you don't necessarily have a way of reaching them in the way that you think you do. Now, it's possible there's marginal things and, but largely I think a lot of this is talk radio. Fox is a couple million, 5 million, 10 million, I don't know, but talk radio is much bigger. With that said, there's this ongoing program, Donald Trump, as we mentioned, sitting with Theresa May, standing with Theresa May, claiming like, I didn't see any protests. Well, that's position A. But just in case any of the Fox viewers saw the protests on other stations, there's a position B. It's sort of like this may be the Alamo. Here is Laura Ingraham, Queen of the Alamo.
The protests went just a bit too far. They've labeled them every negative, every pejorative you can imagine. And I got the sense out there, the few Brits I actually met, most of the people didn't seem British. A lot of people were from outside of London, which is fine. But they even
pause it for one second.
second.
First of all, Britain is bigger than London. But I think the idea that she was saying maybe they were outside of Britain, like she was basically saying they weren't white. Go all the way back so that people can
she's basically saying that. I'm going to say saying it.
Saying it.
Protests went just a bit too far. They've labeled them every negative, every pejorative you can imagine. And I got the sense out there, the few Brits I actually met, most of the people didn't seem British. A lot of people were from outside of London,
British.
just fine. But they even some people, like if they were watching the protests, seemed a little uncomfortable about what was unfolding.
I'll tell you what, I love all of the just like impressionistic nonsense of like, well, it didn't seem and it didn't feel. But I will say from watching Laura Ingraham, and that's one of the really painful counter-meditative things that I have to do in this job from time to time.
Counter-meditative?
Meditative, excuse me. Apologies. I think even the fact that she's, after making that dog foghorn, that she said, and that's okay, keep calling her advertisers.
Oh,
that's a little chink in the armor right there.
Without a doubt. I'm sure some of them are good people.
But she's not somebody who does. She does not usually
pull punches.
No.
Of course. It's definitely having an impact. But it is fascinating. Like, well, okay, there may have been protests, she says, but they weren't really genuine people.